4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karmakanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. And 10 is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna devotees, I welcome you all on the early morning Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Thank you so much for your wonderful chanting. Please feel free to unmute yourselves, unmute your whichever device you're joining from. Please feel free to say your name, announce your name, and give me the pleasure of welcoming you. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण नीना माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीतिदासी from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Devi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your wonderful chanting, Mataji. Thank you for your association. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Neena Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. I'm wishing happy Krishna conscious birthday to our dear Shyama Gauri Mataji.
Yeah.
Shyama Gauri Mataji, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much, Mataji, for bringing very nice speakers to the early morning calls. And thank you for all the services. Yes, we know so many services there back in Charlotte, but still you give your time so much to Bhakti Sangha. Thank you, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve in Bhakti Sangha. Very grateful to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, for your love and affection, and thank you so much. Because of all of you, I can make progress in my spiritual life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shyam Gauri Mataji. Hare
You have
Krishna.
done such a wonderful, not just for yourself, for so many devotees. I still remember the day years ago when I first joined. It's so wonderful, Mataji. It's today, in this beautiful day of your auspicious birthday, Mataji. We all bless you, Mataji. Thank you for your
so
services.
much, and please bless me so
Thank
I can
you,
stay in
Mataji.
devotional service, all the time. Thank you so much.
No, my heart goes out to you, Mataji. Thank you so much for your association. Please, and you too, Vinita Mataji. What would we do without you? Every second, whatever happens, we are always in touch with you, contact with you. Thank you to both of you, Mataji. Wonderful services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Once again, happy birthday, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We are
Hare
wishing,
Krishna,
Vinita Mataji is
Shyama
wishing
Gauri.
from everybody to you, Mataji. Please accept both of Mataji's. Please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shyama
Hare
Gauri
Krishna,
Mataji. Happy Krishna conscious birthday to you. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Preeti Mataji. Thank you for your blessings.
Hare Krishna, Neena Mataji, Dandot Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. This is Varna from Atlanta, Mataji. Happy
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
conscious birthday, Shyam Gauri Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vardhana Mataji.
Hari Bol, Vardhana Mataji. Hari Bol, Preeti Devi Mataji. Please, my Dandavat Pranam to both of you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so very much with your wonderful association. You've made this platform so well. Shamagari Mataji is so proud of all of you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna. Happy birthday, Shyama Gauri Mataji.
Thank you, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Thank you for your blessings. Please keep blessing me, Mataji.
Yes.
You are looking so glorious today.
Very happy to see
You look nice every day, but in your beautiful, nice yellow golden sari. So nice to see. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining every day Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. And thank you for your kind wishes to Mataji. Hare Krishna, welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ninda Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances and happy Krishna consciousness birthday to Shamagori Mataji. This is Sunil from India.
Oh, Haribol, Sunil Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. And thank you for spreading the words to your friends and family so more and more people can join and get benefited from here. Hare Krishna. So devotees today...
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi. I'd also like to wish Her Grace Shamagauri Mataji a very, very happy Krishna conscious birthday. Thank you so much, Mataji, for engaging all of us so wonderfully.
Thank you, Indulekha Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful services and thank you for your wishes. Please keep me in your prayers, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to your wonderful services every day. And thank you for your kind association. Please keep joining, Mataji. Please keep gracing us with your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assembled devotee. And happy Krishna conscious birthday to Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for your effort. This is Mohini Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to your wonderful, concentrated participation every day, day after day, in Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Please keep giving us your association. Thank you. Devotees.
Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Radha Damodar, all glories to the all respected and most dedicated devotees of Bhakti Sangha. This is Pooja Arora from Haridwar. Happy Krishna conscious birthday to Shama Gauri Mataji. You are a real inspiration for me, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for your blessings.
Haribol, Puja Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for mentioning the very right thing. You are an inspiration. That's right. Shamaguri Mataji, I forgot to say the word. You're so inspirational. Very true. Very true. Devotees, today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Ravindra Chaitanya Prabhuji, who's going to be joining us shortly, and he's going to enlighten us today on the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. But prior to his joining, I'll take just a brief few moments and we will have a brief introduction for him, and then we will go back to glorifying Shamagori Mataji. Give me 1 second. So, His Grace Ravindra Chaitanya Prabhu was born in a pious and affluent Marwari family in 1981. He did his schooling in Mumbai. His family got introduced to ISKCON in early 1993 through congregation programs. As a youth, he took up many services, including dramas, kirtan, book distribution, and preaching under ISKCON Youth Forum. Mira wrote, from 1997 through 2001. Now, he was recognized as an active youth leader. Now, after working for a few years, Prabhuji got deeply inspired from the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and later he joined International Society of Krishna Consciousness in 2008 as a full-time member to practice and propagate the sublime teachings of Bhagavad Gita as it is amongst the confused youths of today. He has completed ISKCON's graduate degree Bhakti Shastri course twice. He has vast youth practicing and cultivation experience. He has traveled across India for preaching and visiting many holy places. He did 1 year dedicated study of Srimad Bhagavatam in Bhakti Vedanta Vidyapitham Govardhan Eco Village in Maharashtra. Now, currently, he teaches Bhakti Shastri and runs his own designed program, 7 Steps to Success. How wonderful. He runs his own program and it's called 7 Steps to Success and Bhakti Vriksha at ISKCON Pune and is a community member of several departments in ISKCON Pune. How wonderful. We will be shortly welcoming Prabhuji soon. Until then, devotees, please go ahead, unmute yourself, announce your name so we can welcome you and we can continue to give wishes to Her
Hare
Grace
Krishna,
Shamagori.
Mataji. Prabhuji is on the call.
He's joined? Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. We are very fortunate to have you today with us, Prabhu. If you could kindly enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever you are ready, Prabhuji, you can take the call over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is my voice audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. It's my pleasure to be here with the devotees of the Bhakti Sangha Japa group, a long-standing online devotional effort, and I'm glad to be a part of this once again today. So, I have a seva to be done, and that is to discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam's 8th cantos, 12th chapters, verses 13 and 14. So before we begin, we will offer our prayers unto the spiritual master and to the Guru Shishya Parampara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suthe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's our great pleasure and fortune to be studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, verses, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. And today we have the opportunity to read through the 13th and 14th verse of the 12th chapter. The 12th chapter is entitled as The Mohini Murti Incarnation Bewilders Lord Shiva. It's a very, very significant pastime because the episode involves the Lord and one of his topmost devotee, Lord Shiva. So, whenever there are such pastimes wherein the participants are of a very high caliber, then those pastimes definitely have a lot of churning, a lot of message, a lot of depth. For example, in Krishna's Leela, various pastimes which he performed, one of the pastime is the Govardhan Leela. And while there are many other pastimes which are very, very nourishing and increase our faith, but the Govardhan Leela pastime is very special, and in a minute we'll discuss why so. So, with that background of the significance of this chapter, wherein the Mohini Murti incarnation, one of the very, very special incarnation of the Supreme Lord, in her form as a beautiful lady, bewilders Lord Shiva. And for us living entities who are bewildered in the material world, there is a lot of lesson for us. So therefore, it is our great fortune to read through this chapter. Every verse is very important and very significant. So we are entering into the 12th verse, but the 12th verse doesn't have a, or rather the 13th verse, I'm sorry, 13th and 14th is what we are reading. So let me go through the 13th verse. Now this verse doesn't have a purport, it just has a translation. So we'll read through and then discuss the 14th verse more so in detail. So text 13. And I'll request the audience to read the 14th verse. This one I'll read on my own. Yena sammohita daityaha payitaschamritam suraha taddidrikshva ayataha param kautuhalam hinaha. येन सम्मोहिता दैत्याः पायिताश्चामृतं सुराः तद्दित्रिक्ष्व आयताः param kautuhalam hinaha. Word by word meaning synonyms. Yena, by such an incarnation, sammohitaha, were captivated. Daityaha, the demons, payitaha, were fed. Cha, also, amritam, nectar. Suraha, the demigods. Tat, that form. Didrikshavaha, desiring to see. Ayataha, we have come here. Param, very much. Kautuhalam, great eagerness. He, indeed, naha, of ourselves. Translation. My Lord, we have come here desiring to see that form of your Lordship which you showed to the demigods, which you showed to the demons, to captivate them completely and in this way enable the demigods to drink nectar. I am very eager to see that form. Who is speaking of this? This verse is being spoken by Lord Shiva along with Mother Uma or Parvati. So both of them have approached the Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu, and they have placed a request that we would like to see that form of yours which was very enchanting, and it is known, we heard it, that after seeing that form the demons were totally enticed, they were bewildered, and the demigods were able to drink nectar. So we are very eager. Okay, let's go to text 14. We'll discuss this verse and the 14th together. Okay, so here I'll request the devotees to also recite if they would like to. By raising the hands, you can please recite the verse. Shri Shuka Uvacha Evam Abhyarthito Vishnu भगवान् शूलपाणिना प्रहस्य भावगम्भीरम् गिरीशं प्रत्यभाषत एवमभ्यर्थितो विष्णु भगवान् शूलपाणिना प्रहस्य भावगम्भीरं गिरीशं प्रत्यभाषत श्रीशुक उवाच एवमभ्यर्थितो विष्णुर्भगवान् शूलपाणिना प्रहस्य भावगम्भीरं गिरीशं प्रत्यभाषत. So that's the verse. Devotees would be wanting to recite this verse. You'll unmute and recite.
श्रीशुक उवाच एवम् अभ्यर्थितो विष्णुर्भगवान् शूलपाणिना प्रहस्य भावगम्भीरं शीर्षं प्रत्यभाषत.
Thank you.
श्रीशुकवाच एवम् अभ्यर्थितो विष्णोर्भगवान् शूलपाणिना रहस्य भावगम्भीरं गीरिसं प्रत्याभासता.
Girisham pratyabhashata. Okay. Okay, let's go to the synonyms. Sri Shukaha Uvacha, Sri Shukdev Goswami said, Evam, in this way, Abhyarthitaha, being requested, Vishnu Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shulapanina, by Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand. Prahasya, laughing, Bhava Gambhiram, with serious gravity, Girisham, unto Lord Shiva, Pratyabhashata, replied. Okay, so the translation, I will read the translation and will request one devotee to kindly read the purport. Shukdev Goswami said, when Lord Vishnu was thus requested by Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand, he smiled with gravity and replied to Lord Shiva as follows. So that's the translation. A change of scene. Now the Lord is going to reply. So yes, we have the purport. Any devotees would like to volunteer for reading the purport?
I can read, Prabhu. So, purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is known as Yogeshwara. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Mystic yogis want to acquire some power by practicing the yoga system. But Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is known as the Supreme Lord of all mystic power. Lord Shiva wanted to see the Mohini Murti, which was captivating the entire world. And Lord Vishnu was gravely thinking of how to captivate Lord Shiva also. Therefore, the word Bhavagambhiram is used here. The illusory material energy is represented by Durga Devi, who is the wife of Girisha or Lord Shiva. Durga Devi could not captivate Lord Shiva's mind, but now that Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Vishnu's feminine form, Lord Vishnu, by his mystic power, would assume a form that would captivate even Lord Shiva. Therefore, Lord Vishnu was grave and at the same time was smiling. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so that's a beautiful verse. And okay, so the verse is Sri Shuka Vacha Evam Abhyarthito Vishnur Bhagwan Shulapanina Prahasya Bhava Gambhiram Girisham Pratyabhashata. Lord Vishnu is saying, upon being requested by Lord Shiva, who is Shulapani. Shul means the trident. Trishul actually means the three prongs of the trident. And Shulpanina is indicative of Lord Shiva. It is his another name. the one who carries a trident in his hand. Now, the three spades or the three spokes or the three prongs of the trident have many representations. The word specifically over here is not Mahadev, it is not Lord Shiva directly or something else, but it is Shul Panina. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, every word that is mentioned in the text definitely has some or the other background to it. So, what is the background when we are talking of Shul Panina? The word Trishul or the three prongs of the trident represents several things. So, our different texts or the different references give us these different meanings. So, one is that the three prongs represent the three modes, and Lord Shiva is he's the wielder of those three modes. He is holding those three modes, means he is definitely controlling or he is definitely above those three modes. So the one who is situated above the modes can be considered as the one holding a trident, Lord Shiva, Shul Panina. Another thing that could be is that the three functions of the divine, creation, maintenance, and destruction, are represented by those three prongs. And Lord Shiva is definitely someone who is actually responsible for destruction part of the creation. But philosophically, the Lord Shiva is situated much in a higher realm, on a much higher plane, and is not kind of any other demigod who also has some or the other functions or duties. So he's definitely above all of that. Yes, he does the business of destruction as a service to the Lord. Then one of the another meaning which comes is that the three prongs signify the past, present, and future. So Lord Shiva holds or is above the past, present, or future. Very, very highly elevated position of Lord Shiva. Then it could also be understood that Lord Shiva's three prongs represent, in case of a living entity, it represents the body, mind, and the intelligence. The body, the gross body, and the subtle body. So Lord Shiva is a very, very special personality in the whole paradigm of the demigods. Because the subject matter revolves around Lord Shiva, it is very important to discuss his position, because then the topic moves around bewilderment of that Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva firstly is someone who is on a very highly elevated position. He is the one who is above all the three modes. Even when we ordinarily consider the demigods or we count in the demigods, generally Lord Shiva, even for a layman, is not counted in line with the other demigods. Lord Shiva stands apart. And philosophically also we understand that while all other demigods, including Lord Brahma, are Jiva Tattva, are Jivas, living entities. So they are of another caste, of another type, the living entity, different Tattva. But Lord Shiva is not a living entity. He originates from Shambhu Tattva, is a different type, is a different Tattva, different substance, you can call so. So Lord Shiva is not one of those living entities. In fact, the Brahma Samhita explains to us that when the Supreme Lord accepts the modes, the self same Supreme Lord, when he comes in contact with the modes, the three modes, for the purpose of displaying material pastimes, then he becomes Lord Shiva. Shiram yatha dadi vikar vishesh yogat sanjayate nahi tatha pratag asti heto. यह शंभुताम अपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. So when the milk comes in contact with sourness or curd, then that milk transforms into curd. Now, this example actually doesn't fully represent Lord Shiva's personality. It is a good analogy and the best that we can give. But then Lord Shiva, because we have to somewhere relate to what we see in the material world, therefore this analogy. Otherwise, the case is little different. So Lord Shiva, uh, really speaking, doesn't come in contact with the three modes of nature. It is not that Lord Shiva is under Tamogun or under Satogun or Rajogun, and therefore the transformation of Lord Vishnu becomes Lord Shiva. It is for the purpose of accessing the three modes, the Lord Vishnu accepts another form called as Lord Shiva. In fact, we do understand from the creation sequence that Lord Shiva is none other than the glance of Lord Vishnu. That is called as Shambhu, the glance of Lord Vishnu, the glance of Lord Mahavishnu rather. So that is Shambhu, the foundation of Lord Shiva, the foundation element of Lord Shiva. So what are we trying to understand is, first of all, the position of Lord Shiva, which is very, very special, highly elevated, is not like an ordinary jiva. He is actually a transcendental yogi, fully absorbed in meditation upon the Supreme Lord. Actually, amongst the other demigods also, with our limited intelligence of their pastimes, we do see that while other demigods are many a times absorbed in their duties, responsibilities, and several departments which they own and execute, Lord Shiva is not like that. When you see his picture or when you read the descriptions, mostly he is seated under a tree and meditating, absorbed in trance. So Lord Shiva is not one of those who is sitting on a throne, managing, sending things out here and there. No, he knows the purpose. He's there meditating on the pastimes or the names of Lord Ramchandra, of Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan. So he has his own set business which he has to do. He's very clear about it. So a very special personality and a transcendental yogi. Actually, Lord Shiva does the thankless task of containing all those who want to follow lower modes of worship. So they need a monitor, they need someone as a leader to guide them, to lead them gradually, step by step, into the higher modes, to make those lower modes worshippers even more civilized. So that is where Lord Shiva plays an important role. Now, with that understanding, there are many more understandings of the trident, but then I think it sets the background that Lord Shiva is a very, very special personality. Now let's come to the second participant in this pastime. There are three. Of course, Shukdev Goswami is speaking the pastime. So, but leaving Shukdev Goswami, there are three personalities in the whole narration. One is Lord Shiva. The second is his wife, Uma. And the third is Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu. So we'll go gradually one by one. Then when we talk about the second personality is Mother Uma or Goddess Durga or Parvati. In different contexts, the name differs, but the personality remains the same. So it is understood from the Brahma Samhita again, in the initial verses explain it in great detail, that the Supreme Lord has a eternal consort. Lord Vishnu has an eternal consort. The potency which provides pleasure to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the pleasure potency, the Chit Shakti it is called. And of course, it has its own manifestations, expansions as Samvit, Sandini, Aladini, etc. I'm not getting into those details, which represent the Sat Chit Anand part of the personality of Godhead. But that Shakti, the Chitta Shakti, called as Rama, Lakshmi Devi, according to the Brahma Samhita, has a shadow. And that shadow is Uma. So Rama Rama's shadow is Uma, Parvati Devi. Very easy to understand. When an object is kept, and if there is a sunshine, sun glowing from the behind, or a light source, then a shadow definitely falls on the other side. So that shadow is Uma. So just like how Lord Vishnu's glance is Shambhu, Rama's shadow is Uma. So she also is the consort of Lord Shiva. She also has a task, a service to perform. Apart from serving Lord Shiva, being the wife of Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva has one more name. He has a name Bhava. And Mother Uma, Parvati, has another name Bhavani. So the wife of Bhava. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that Keshav Kashmiri's pastime as a young boy of Navdeep, might be around 8 years or so, 7, 8 years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or maybe a little bit plus minus. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that point of time, who is Nimai Pandit, encountered this Keshav Kashmiri, who had come with his full retinue, with lot of hoardings, elephants, music bands, followers, a big staff, and they had approached Navdeep wanting to conquer the wisest and the most intellectual class of people, wanting to have a debate with them and defeat them and get that recognition of being the victorious one, a Chakravarti, the king of whole India practically, because Navdeep was the seat of learning. So Keshav Kashmiri, when he came to Navdeep, the intellectuals of Navdeep, who were very, very highly learned, were put into great difficulty, because then they were thinking, who is going to sit in an argument and debate with Keshav Kashmiri? He is no ordinary person. Everyone knew that he has the special mercy of Mother Saraswati upon him, and therefore he is practically undefeatable. So now what do we do? So they sat in their parliaments and then discussed, and then they thought better is that we put forth this Nimai Pandit, the young boy, 7, 8, 9 years old boy. And with him, when we position him in front of Keshav Kashmiri, our task is going to be very easy. Either we win or either we lose. It won't harm our reputation. Just in case if Nimai Pandit loses in the debate argument, we could always say that, oh, fine, after all, he was a young boy. And what if he won in the argument? Then we could say, if even a boy of Navdeep can defeat Keshav Kashmiri, then what about us? What to speak of us? So in both ways, they were in a safe zone. So it so happened that Keshav Kashmiri was strolling around bank of Mother Ganga, and that time Nimai Pandit happened to cross from there along with his students, because he was running his own grammar school, Sanskrit school. So at that time, Keshav Kashmiri saw Nimai Pandit, and Nimai Pandit, with great respect and regard for this highly intellectual, wise, learned person, Keshav Kashmiri, he bowed down, offered obeisances, and showed humility in persona, in words, in eyes, everything. And then he said, I have heard so much of you. It is just a pleasure to be in your association, standing here on the bank of Mother Ganga. And for any person, we know that, for anyone who is a specialist in a certain domain, they like to be questioned and praised about it. In fact, when people come and flock around and say, "Oh, you are a very impressive YouTuber. You have so many followers. How did you do it? And what made you come up?" So they like to share that. They like showing that their success. So there, Keshav Kashmiri started. Of course, Nimai Pandit requested him to speak something in glorification of Mother Ganga. And Keshav Kashmiri, in a split, started speaking, reciting verses glorifying Mother Ganga. And one such verse, you know, so Nimai Pandit practically memorized the whole 100 verses spoken by Keshav Kashmiri. And one of those verses was in which he pointed out that your whole composition has 5 alankars, ornaments, and 5 shortcomings, things that need certain repair. Keshav Kashmiri was spellbound. Till now, no one had ever pointed out a deficiency in his composition. Everyone was always very appreciative. Oh, it's so beautiful, Keshav Kashmiri, you are this, you are that. But here is a boy who said that there are 5 deficiencies, not just 1, 2. And one of those deficiencies, he said, is that you have used useless repetition of words, which goes to indicate some another meaning other than what was the intended meaning. As an example, he says that you have used the word Bhavani Bhartur to indicate Lord Shiva. Bhavani Bhartur. So Bhavani means the wife of Bhava. Bhava means Lord Shiva. So Bhavani means the wife of Lord Shiva. And Bhartur means the maintainer. So your composition says the maintainer of the wife of Lord Shiva. The maintainer or the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. That means this lady could have a second husband. In fact, he would have directly said, oh, I am referring to Lord Shiva, because the prayer was about Ganga, and in some connection with Lord Shiva. Ganga is definitely connected to Lord Shiva. So when he pointed out this deficiency, Keshav Kashmiri was totally awestruck. He never had thought that some boy, a young boy, could actually point out such a mistake. So there he was. And actually, while the students, Nimai Pandit's students, started smiling or feeling that joy of defeating Keshav Kashmiri, but then Nimai Pandit silenced them, made them humble and said, no, that is not a proper etiquette. And Keshav Kashmiri went to his quarters, wherever he was staying. He prayed whole night to Mother Saraswati. How come this happened? In my last so many years, never such an episode. But then Mother Saraswati revealed in a dream that, oh, it is, till now you were defeating mere mortals. It was all right. But now today you encountered my Lord. How can I assist you in defeating my Lord? I cannot do that. So Keshav Kashmiri understood that it was Nimai Pandit is none other than the Supreme Lord. Next day he came and he became a devotee, a disciple, a follower. Gradually he took Diksha in the Nimbarka Sampradaya also. So the reference we are speaking over here, the story particularly we spoke of because of this connection with Bhavani, Mother Uma Devi, Parvati. So Lord Shiva has come along with Mother Parvati, Mother Uma. Okay, that's very interesting. And the second thing is that we know from the Srimad Bhagavatam also and the Bhagavad Gita also, wherein several verses talk about how this divine energy, although being a shadow, it is divine energy, and this divine energy has a particular task. What is the task? The task is to bind the living entities in the material world. So Daivi hi esha gunamayi mam maya duratteya. Lord Krishna says, my maya is duratteya. Very difficult to overcome. Mamevaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Such a beautiful verse, and see the composition. It is so nice, so well composed. Lord is speaking, it is his book, speech, his words. So he says that this divine energy of mine is very, very difficult to overcome. But one who surrenders unto me can easily cross beyond it. So he gives the solution also. So the second personality in this is Lord Shiva and then Mother Parvati. Both have come. Now, Mother Parvati has a task of bewildering everyone in the material world and keep him bound. Actually, one may say that why does Mother have to do that? It is because the living entity wants to be bewildered, and therefore, uh, this thankless task has to be executed. They want to get entangled. Just like a child, sometimes a mother bathes the child, puts on a new dress, a fresh new dress, white, and then the child goes and wants to play in the mud and spoil the whole dress. Happens. So then the question may be, why does the child have to do that? And because of that, again he has to go take bath, again change the clothes, and the mother has a task and the child has a task. But then why? Just because the child wants to do it. So apart from having a desire, there is no other reason why the child wants to become dirty again. So it happens. So these two are very indicative that there is no possibility of Lord Shiva's bewilderment, because Parvati is standing behind, means Lord Shiva has already surpassed all kinds of bewilderment. In fact, he is the master of the energy who bewilders everything, everyone. So a perfect pair. And therefore I said this pastime is very, very special because we are talking of Lord Shiva. We are not talking of any demigod as such. We are talking of the highest person after Lord Narayan. Right? So I was speaking about the Govardhan Leela in the introduction before the class. Why the Govardhan Leela is very special. And in this month of Kartik, we are celebrating several festivals, especially in Vrindavan. There are series of huge celebrations all around Lord Krishna's pastimes. We had uh, Damodar Leela during the day of Deepavali. Then we have Govardhan Puja, and today's Gopashtami. I'll be speaking a little bit about that also towards the end. So the Giriraj Dharan pastime, the lifting of Govardhan, is very, very special because while not getting into too many details, because I'm sure all of you have definitely meditated on that pastime several times, but let us again reflect back a couple of points. Is that in this pastime, the Lord is basically correcting his devotees. He is setting them back on the track of pure devotional service. On one side he has Indra, on the other side he has the Brajvasis. See, when there are pastimes like Aghasur is killed, or Bakasur is killed, or Putna is killed, oh, they are demons. Kamsa is killed, okay, Jarasandh, they are all demons, Asuras. So for us, it is definitely a 100 on 0. We are definitely siding with Krishna. We are definitely siding with, on the path of Dharma. We know Krishna is going to be victorious and should be. But when it comes to Govardhan Leela, who are the parties on both sides? On one side is the Brajvasis, on the other side we have Lord Indra. Both are very, very ardent devotees. Of course, the Brajvasis in their own way are most special and pure devotees of the Lord, who engage in all sorts of rasas to serve the Supreme Lord. And on the other side, the most cherished devotee, demigod of the Lord is Indra. Indra is so dear to the Supreme Lord that the Lord, Sri Vishnu, attends the court of Lord Indra as an assistant to Lord Indra, and he is called by the name Upendra. Indra means assistant to Indra. So that is the position of Lord Vishnu. He really admires Indra very much because of his devotional demeanor. Many times when we hear of pastimes of Indra falling down, chasing apsaras, etc., we definitely fall momentarily into thinking that, oh, Indra shouldn't be doing like this. But actually, he has a very, very, very high track record of service to the Lord. It is only a very, very passing by occasional instance, one in a million could be, wherein Indra does sometimes, in order to showcase the glory of the Lord's protection to his devotees, may fall into a trap. Otherwise, Indra is a very highly esteemed devotee. It's not easy to get that position of being Indra. 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas is the qualification on paper. And more than that is the love and support of the Supreme Lord. So in that pastime, Indra falls prey to prestige, recognition, worship, adoration, and starts thinking somewhere in his consciousness, where I am the provider of rains and therefore I am the recipient of all this worship. Now, this is a very common feeling actually. If we just meditate, each one of us in our life has several times become aligned with this mentality of Indra. We do become. We start giving something as a donation, probably, or we start giving some moral support or help or even guidance, free of cost guidance based on the scriptures, because we may have learnt it, we are senior to some devotees. Over a period of time, we start getting that feeling of ownership. Oh, I am giving this, I am offering this, and therefore this devotee somewhere is, should be aligned as a in a subordinate mood or in a thankful, grateful mood. So we do start uh, recognizing ourselves. That was what precisely happened with Indra. In our case, we may have our Diksha Gurus, Shiksha Gurus, our counselors to correct us. But in case of Indra, at that position, when you are at the top, as you've heard it probably, there is emptiness, vacuum at the top, loneliness at the top. So Indra, it will be very difficult for someone to go and guide him. Oh Indra, it is becoming a little too much. So on one side is this, and on the other side we have the Brajvasis who have their full love and devotion to Krishna, but some, but they do have some uh, anchors of customs, rituals, which they have been offering deep seated into their heart, which we do not want to pull them out. We want to continue Krishna consciousness. We want to practice bhakti. We want to do everything for Krishna. But okay, let this also be there. How does it harm? Especially in India, we do see so many devotees have a trend of worshipping almost all the demigods present on their altar or on the table. In fact, when a photograph or a deity or a picture or anything comes into their home, and if they start worshipping that, then generally it is very difficult to give up that worship. Even after years of practicing Krishna consciousness, hearing, speaking, meditating, it's very difficult. We think that, okay, this worship has been going on for so long, how can I give it up? It's not practical. We do have those kind of uh, conditionings inside in our heart. And when we gradually progress into Krishna consciousness, then we hear from our seniors, from our great holy souls in the moment, very senior advanced devotees, they guide us, they say, and we hear the message of the Bhagavad Gita, which very clearly says that one should become Ananya Bhakta. Then, while we appreciate, practically it takes some courage to actually do that. So we fear being the revolutioner, the revolution of the house, starting to change things around the altar, change the books that we have been reading, everything. We fear many a times. We just want to continue whatever is going on. Okay, let it go on. Let them do whatever they're doing. Let me do my own somewhere. So Krishna wanted that example from the Brajvasis, whom he considers the gemstone of all devotees. So he wanted that to be displayed to the world. See, my devotees. You know what? There's a beautiful thinking the Acharyas share in this pastime of Govardhan Leela, wherein after hearing Krishna's words that okay, we should be offering all of this not to Indra but to Giriraj. So the Brajvasis say, that's fine Krishna, we love you, we want to do that for you, But then we have a problem. Why don't we just celebrate two different festivals? Let this offering, whatever has been made, with the intent of pleasing Indra, let it go for Indra. Let it not be used for Girirajji right now. We know, we fully agree with you, we align with you. Let us celebrate another festival immediately after this program, and in which we may make even much more, many times more offering for Giriraj. So both parties are satisfied. That is what actually Krishna is tearing open our hearts and showing to the world. This is what we are feeling, and this is how actually we think in our consciousness. Let both parts go on, satisfy both the parties. So Krishna says, no, 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 no. We would be offering these same ingredients not to Indra but to Giriraj. No second program. Even if there is a second program, that is again going to go to Giriraj. It's not going to Indra. He was very clear. He wanted to cut that knot, deep knot, which we tend to preserve many times in our heart. We don't want that to be exposed. We think that chal raha hai na, it's okay, fine, things are going on. What's the problem? It's going on, let it go on. We don't want to think back that this is an obstacle in the flow of devotional service, pure devotional service to Krishna. Like there is a pipeline which supplies water, but if there is some kind of dirt which is stuck up, and the flow reduces, and over a period of time you see the uh, tap is filling out less water than what is expected. But then we are okay, fine, because it's a big task. Who's going to do that? So we allow the knots, and then those knots get strengthened and they become even more deeper. Just like sometimes in a building, in a premises, sometimes we have seen this, that there are birds who eat all different kinds of seeds, and these birds keep on moving around here and there, and while in the course of moving or flying from one building to another, they do spill out their excreta, the waste, and in those waste, the seeds, the unchewed seeds, they exactly come out. And many times around the sewage system, around the wet, moist places of the building, those seeds fly around and somewhere get stuck. And those seeds get a favorable atmosphere of humidity. Gradually, sometimes there is rain. There's nothing that is pulling them out from there, and they start cultivating over there into small crops, small plants. Saplings initially, gradually starts growing. In the initial stage, when that small sapling, the small plant is just 2 3 inches, 4 inches, it is very easy to pull out the whole plant from its root and everything. It's very easy. But if we do not allow that, or we do not take that effort, because sometimes such locations are in a very, very remote corner, not easily reachable, because it is somewhere in the backyard of the building, and those pipelines or the drainage systems are very, very difficult, can't reach by normal arrangements. So then we, in some way, allow things to continue, and over a period of time, that small sapling becomes a very thick plant. Even if at that point we are not very considerate, we do not take action, then it becomes a tree, and that tree gradually erupts, ruptures out the whole wall and the column or that system or the drainage and everything, and then it is most difficult to remove, because the seed has germinated and it is way deep down. Such are the knots of the heart. So Lord Krishna, in this Giriraj Dharan Leela Govardhan pastime, gives us this message also. But the pastime here is related to Lord Shiva's bewilderment. So while I will not get into the bewilderment aspect, because then there are those next 20 verses wherein you will be hearing and relishing the nectar of this particular pastime. But let us reflect upon 2 3 more points before we open up for questions. Okay, and we have to discuss a little bit about Gopashtami. So Like in the Bhagavad Gita, wherein Lord Krishna speaks a lot about his opulences in the 10th chapter, excites Arjuna or creates a curiosity within Arjuna for Arjuna to ask him in the beginning of the 11th chapter that, oh, I've heard about all your opulences, 80 of them. Now I would like to see them. Could you please show that form to me? And Lord Krishna in that battle says that I might show only a fragmental part of my that supremely gigantic form, and even for seeing that I will grant you with special vision. So it is the devotee's desire which Krishna fulfills. Like here also Lord Shiva came along with Mother Parvati and requested the Lord that we heard a lot about it. We got to know, but then we missed seeing it, or for whatsoever reason we would like to see it. So the onus is on the devotee to request the darshan of the Lord. Even Dhruv Maharaj was trying hard in his tapasya to see the Lord, and gradually the Lord gave him darshan. Likewise, Narad Muni also as a young boy. So the devotees who are practicing, we all of us, we have to have that strong, curious desire to see the Lord, to have his darshan. Sometimes in our daily routine of bhakti, we set our priorities. Oh, I have to chant, I have to read, I have to do bhoga for the Lord, etc. etc. We have our own priorities, and gradually we set into our specific priorities. For some, seeing the Lord may not be in the list also. It may be just one side item occasionally. So here we can understand that this is definitely something that a devotee must aspire for. Okay, just let me put the charger. Okay, thank you. Then the second thing is that when the devotee shows the curiosity, the Lord reciprocates in both cases, and he does shield the devotee with the required support. In Arjuna's case, we see that he was bewildered, and the Lord gave him vision and then quickly vanished that form also. Likewise, after this pastime of Lord Shiva seeing Mohini Murti, he is going to be bewildered too, and the Lord is going to again protect him even after bewilderment. Okay, so the Lord takes special interest in protecting his devotee and showing his pastimes. Now let me just come 1-2 more points about this. So when we in the material world sometimes, like Srila Prabhupada said that we are always in Maya, only sometimes we are in Krishna. So sometimes occasionally it may happen that we do not feel so much the agitation of Maya. We may feel a little bit liberated, the feeling of being liberated, transcendental. But actually, it is not none of our qualification that we are not bewildered. It is only the Lord's mercy which is not glancing upon us, His bewilderment energy which is actually sparing us. Otherwise, there's every minute an opportunity for us to be bewildered. But it is only the Lord's mercy which keeps us aloof from that. That is one point. Now we know that after this pastime, after this request, the Lord is going to present his Mohini Murti form, and Lord Shiva is going to be bewildered by that. Consider this: Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna in a male form, but carrying the mood of Radharani in his heart. So, through the consciousness, he is Radharani, right? Contrast it with Mohini Murti, who is Lord Vishnu in a feminine form, but carrying the masculine consciousness of Lord Vishnu, right? So we see these kind of pastimes. These are very special forms. Even Lord Chaitanya's form, the golden avatar, is a very special form. not easily understood by the common people. So likewise, even the Mohini Murti form, wherein the Lord took a feminine form, but actually carries the consciousness of Lord Vishnu, masculine consciousness. Yeah, we can contrast it with that also. So here we read that, we understand that this pastime is about bewilderment at its best. You may want to label it like that. Bewilderment at its best. Lord Shiva, with all due regards, to participate in the Lord's pastime is going to be happily bewildered and won't have any regret about it also, because he knows finally it is the Supreme Lord and everything is in his control. So here he has requested the Supreme Lord to show that Mohini Murti pastime, Mohini Murti form, and the Lord will acknowledge that and fulfill that request. So that is the verse, that is the meaning around it. That is what I could understand. Let's talk about Gopashtami. Today is a very special day. Gopashtami it marks the graduation of the Supreme Lord from a Vatsapal to a Gopal. At the age of 5, till the age of 5, Krishna is Vatsapal, means he is herding the calves, not the cows. Because the cows are huge in number, and then cows require a huge grazing space, so they tend to go across huge miles. But the calves are not requiring grazing, they are dependent on the milk of the cows. So they require a lesser space as such of moving around. So it is easy to control because the area to administer is not huge. So Krishna graduates from a Vatsapal to a Gopal, and today marks the day when he is actually promoted upon the request of the other Brajvasis. That, and Krishna had that deep desire, he was constantly applying for it, and Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj stamped it and recognized, yes, from today you are a Gopal. So one of the role which Krishna is very famous, remembered by in the world in his pastimes as a Gopal. Today he attained that title, that service. He got reinstated in that role. And then now he had the privilege of going to different forests with the cows. The cows were happy also because they got an opportunity to now more closely associate with Krishna. And on this day, in some temples in Vrindavan, the Srimati Radharani is also dressed as a Gopa, as a cowherd boy. And there is a pastime that Radharani and Lalita Sakhi, the friend of Radharani, weren't allowed, because being girls they weren't allowed to herd cows, but they were looking forward to that opportunity. So on this day when Krishna got graduated as Gopa, Radharani and Lalita also joined the crew by dressing as Gopakumar, as Gopas. So they dressed as Gopas, and with ropes and the required paraphernalia, they started grazing. Of course, this is a pastime which happened today. So there is a lesson in this pastime also, and a small lesson. And what do we learn from this pastime is that higher roles bring in higher responsibilities. Krishna assumed a higher role and he assumed higher responsibilities. So when we advance in some positions, it is not without responsibilities. We do have to fulfill those needs, those responsibilities. He was cared for until now. Now he has become the caretaker of several cows. So it's a very special day in one sense. But at the same time, Gopashtami marks practically for the Vaishnavas, it gives them a sorrow in their heart because they see now that only there are 7-8 days remaining for the Kartik month. Almost now we are nearing the completion of completion of Kartik month. Let's put this. So, therefore, this is a very special day, and we are privileged to be with all of you and listening to this wonderful verse and speaking on this pastime. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. Gopashtami Mahotsav ki jai. Hare Krishna. Do we have
Hare Krishna,
questions?
Prabhuji. What a wonderful class. Beautiful class. So many nice practical points you said. With so many points. I mean, I already have so many questions for you, Prabhuji. But I would ask devotees, do you have any questions for Prabhu while he's here? You can raise
Hare
your
Krishna
hand. You can
Prabhu.
unmute.
Thank you so
Yes,
much, Prabhuji, for wonderful
Prabhuji.
class. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. As you explained that how small attachment is initially like a sapling, and when it becomes like thick, it is very difficult to cut out. Prabhu, I have a question like, why don't Lord Shiva or Mother Parvati take pity on his devotees? Like, can't they spare from the bewilderment of illusion? It's possible, like, I think.
I'm sure, Sunil Prabhuji, you have asked this question earlier to several devotees, and likewise, I have also asked this question several times to my
Yes, Prabhuji.
seniors, because this is something that we all always while we know the answer, but we always are looking forward to that enlightenment. So here is the answer, which you might already know. Just a second, please. Devotees, give me a second, please. Just maybe about 10 seconds or so.
Sure, Prabhu, no problem. Wishing happy Gopashtami to all the devotees who have joined here and who are listening from everywhere across the world.
Okay, Hare Krishna, I'm back. Yeah. So, uh, just like in our civilized society, we see that there are all sorts of people who abide the laws and people who transgress the laws. And for those who transgress the laws, there is a jail. And the purpose of a jail is reinstatement or reformation of the person, because there are some living entities who do not understand it the simple way, so then they have to be trained into the expected through a difficult way. So Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati do not get any sadistic pleasure in giving sufferings to the living entities. It is a part of their job, it is a part of their duty, and it's a very thankless duty. To be someone like Yamraj, the dispenser of death or punishment, to be someone like Mother Durga, actually, that person has to be on the epitome of compassion, because they must not subtly start deriving pleasure from this activity of punishing people or disciplining them or abiding them. Sometimes in temples we have seen that there is that one oldish devotee who is the in charge for crowd control, etc., and he's the one who has the loudest voice, and people kind of fear him, so they position him as the police over there, and he's the one who has to he has to just raise his eyebrow and people are all in a line, especially in festivals when we see a lot of chaos around for the prasadam or for Deep Dan Utsav nowadays. So there, sometimes it may so happen that one devotee or the team of devotees may start deriving subtle pleasure. Oh, we are heard. People obey us. This subtle gross pleasures and gross conditionings are very easy to overcome, but the challenge and the advancement actually happens when we are working on the subtleties. So in our hearts, when we get those recognition or those kind of positions, it actually means more danger for us. So it has to be the best of the best devotees who are the most advanced to be able to do these kind of services, who can maintain that humility along with that subtle surgery which they have to do in the hearts of the devotees. So they have to be balancing both of them. So why does Mother Durga or Lord Shiva do that? Does these kind of challenges or obstacles in our lives? It is because the living entity wants to be stuck in the material world, whereas the Lord's mission is to revive him and get him back into the spiritual world. While the Lord could do it out of force, but that way it won't work. It's going to be repetitive. Just like how you bring a child back into the cradle and the child wants to again go. You bring him back, but he wants to again go. You can keep on doing that 100 times, but the child will again go. So the Lord's way is to basically reform, just like a jail has that purpose. So that is the purpose Mother Durga and Lord Shiva, who are actually the mother and father of the material world. If someone asks you who is owning the material world and who is the Lord of the material world, it is Lord Shiva and Mother Durga. Lord Krishna or Vishnu is not the owner of the material world. He is the owner of everything. But it is Lord Shiva and Durga Devi who are owning the material world. They are the lords. So we please them by serving the Supreme Lord, gradually facing whatever prarabdha karma we have in our account, in our karmic account, undergoing all of that, while maintaining steadiness in bhakti. Gradually at a certain point of time, as the fan is switched off, the fan switches off, but then it keeps on moving for a certain revolutions, rotations. So like that the karmic cycle gradually stops, comes to a standstill. Then things don't trouble us so much. So Sunil Prabhuji, have I been able to answer you?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. I just knew the jailer analogy, but you went more deep. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other question?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Devotees, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself, ask your questions. There are a lot of some comments and reflections on the chat box. So we have from Shriji, Leela Mataji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, very peaceful class. Please accept my most respectful obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. We have from Harita Mataji, very beautiful class. So any insights we can draw from it, Prabhuji? Thank you, Prabhuji. We would like to seek more of your association. So Mataji got a lot of insights from your class. So one, if I may ask one question, Prabhuji, how nicely you were talking about Indra, and that sometimes he subtly falls as a prey. But the thing is that, Prabhuji, when first time the soul, the eternal soul, we also are a part of the Satchidananda, the eternal soul. When person first falls down from that place, he becomes Lord Brahma. Then he becomes Indra, right? And most of the time, I wish it. So the Indra, they're only going down from Indra position. Yet Lord Krishna is Upendra is always trying to assist and help. Yet mostly, but that's how we all have fallen down, right? Our first position was Brahma, Lord Brahma, then Indra, and then we kept coming down and down and down because probably the mentality is always going towards the sinful activities. Right, Prabhu?
Mataji, in the material world, you may have witnessed a law of gravity, which always takes the object down. No matter at whatever height you throw or you just release the object, it is 101% going to come down, because there is a law, the law of gravity, which acts very vibrantly. No object will ever go up. Even if you force something up, say a ball, I throw it up, it's going to come down. Because this law of gravity works here. So like that, there is a law of gravity in the material world, which affects our consciousness, because of which the living entity always slides down, keeps on sliding down, keeps on sliding down, keeps on sliding down. The more the living entity slides down, the desires or the pleasure seeking is becoming more and more gross and downgraded. That's why he slides down. But the Supreme Lord has an arrangement. He doesn't leave the living entity let slide down and keep on falling down for eternity. What can I do? It's none of my business. I tried my best, but then he wants to fall down. What can I do? Lord is not so detached. The good thing for us is that Lord is attached to us. Despite whatever we are, the Lord is very much more than what we are attached to the Lord. The Lord is attached and thinking about protecting the devotee. So that's on our plus part. So the Lord has made a natural cycle of going up also, in which there is a natural evolution from the aquatic species, aquatic consciousness into the trees, from the trees to the birds, the bees, to the reptiles, etc. Not in that particular order, I'm missing on the order, but somehow rising up to human form of life. And then if at that point of time again we misuse it, again revolve in several human species and again slide down, we can continue sliding down, but the Lord has an arrangement to pull back the living entity back into human species. So the Lord has made this arrangement of again throwing back the living entity into human form of life, so that from there now he can put in those required efforts and go back. But it is the obstinate living entity who doesn't want to. So then the Lord is helpless. But the good thing is that while we may give up, as practicing devotees, all of us may be cultivating some devotees, sometimes we just give up on someone. Oh, not possible. I can't just handle this person. He's not going to be a devotee in this life. But the Lord is hope against hope. He's the supreme hope. He knows that if I give up my hope, who else is there? So the Lord is extreme of every possible thing. So that is good, that the Lord is hopeful upon us, on our case. And we just have to do our bit. Lord will do 99. We have to just do that one. We have to agree, yes, I would like to see your form. Here in this pastime and in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and for Lord Shiva, it is just one request. Yes, I would like to see you. The hell lot of task is for the Lord now to take that form and to actually fulfill the devotee's desire. So the Lord does even many times more than the devotee. So that is on our favor, that is on our side. So on this day of Gopashtami, let us understand from this subtle message that with higher roles we get higher responsibilities. We all have been practicing. We chanting one round, so we move on to the second round. We go to higher roles and take up higher responsibilities, not only of others, but of our own selves also. We have to assume higher responsibility. As we chant 16 rounds, we chant 16 rounds for 16 years, means more higher role, much higher responsibility of setting that good example, of leading so many devotees in this year into Krishna consciousness, of distributing books, of making our own chanting more pure, effective. All those higher responsibilities we keep on upgrading. So we can definitely take this message for all of us in our hearts and gradually advance.
Wonderful answer, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Many pranams at your lotus feet. We have a beautiful comment from Manjari Leela Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept Mahamul obeisances. Prabhuji, such a wonderful class. Please continue giving us your association. So many great points stated in such a simple way. Can you please quickly explain the Shambhu Tattva as a glance of Lord Vishnu and Uma being the shadow of which Shakti?
Lord Shambhu is the glance of Mahavishnu. When the Lord has to impregnate the jivas from the previous millennium was in manifestation, and that at certain point of time there was a wind up annihilation, and some living entities who could not go back to the spiritual world were kept in the womb of Mahavishnu, stored for a temporary time, for the next till the time the next millennium is going to come. So those living entities are staying within the womb of Lord Mahavishnu. Now they have to be brought back and they have to be downloaded into the material world. So the Lord doesn't do that directly. In a sense, he has to impregnate a woman, Maya Devi, Chitta Shakti's shadow, but he wants to have a contactless impregnation. A contactless impregnation. Very, very subtle concept. How is the Lord going to do that? So the example of a person smelling a flower is given in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord understands the desire of the living entity, just like when a gardener, when you're roaming in a garden, you can smell the flower without touching the flower. So the Lord similarly impregnates the living entity back into the material world without touching it. Sometimes we've all done this. We have a rough waste paper and we want to put it in the dustbin, but definitely we don't have to touch it. We just have to aim it properly and just drop it in the dustbin, right? Otherwise, if we touch the dustbin, then it will become muchi for us, contaminated. So we have to throw that also. So the point here is that the Lord uses his glance, and that glance is Shambhu, Lord Shiva. So that through that glance, the Lord sends all the living entities into the womb of Durga Devi, Maya Devi, and therefore Lord Shiva becomes the husband, having impregnated. So that is how Lord Shiva becomes the husband and Durga Devi is impregnated. So she is the shadow of Chit Shakti, C-I-T. In English we would write it like C-I-T, but pronounce it as Chit Shakti, the pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. Chit Shakti in itself is a very detailed subject, and I am not the most best teacher on that. I've taught a course on Brahma Samhita wherein this is discussed in detail in the initial verses. But the n number of times we read it, we find ourselves as losing ground of what actually it is. We start getting more and more realizations over a period of number of readings. But then Chit Shakti is the pleasure potency, the energy who serves the Lord in several ways. So the shadow of that is Uma Devi, the shadow of Rama Devi. All right.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any last minute questions? Devotees? If not, we can end the class. It was such a wonderful association, Prabhuji. Please keep coming. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha pansindevaccha patitanam pavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhu Jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much, dear devotees. We'll end the call here. Wish you a very happy birthday again.